Welcome to the Intella feature guide for version 3.1. Here, we'll explore the new mobile device acquisition feature for Android in Intella Pro. iOS devices are also supported, and we've created a separate video that walks through the acquisition and indexing process. You can access it using the URL shown on screen or the link in the video description. This powerful capability allows you to acquire data directly from a mobile device, such as mobile phones and tablets, and seamlessly add it to your case for indexing and investigation. Let's take a closer look at how it works. Please note that at the time of this video's release, this feature is experimental and is subject to change. It is intended for testing and evaluation purposes only. We recommend using it to explore mobile device acquisition within Intella and to compare its results with those of other forensic tools. At this stage, we do not recommend relying on this feature for official casework or evidentiary purposes. To get started, you'll need the following. A foundational understanding of mobile device acquisitions is essential. This includes familiarity with the standard procedures involved, as well as knowledge of how adjusting various device settings, such as for acquisition, can impact metadata. Having this background will enhance your learning experience and ensure you're well prepared for testing this new feature. An Android device to acquire, and you'll need to know the password or PIN for it. Most modern devices are able to be collected. iOS devices can be acquired as well, and the video walkthrough for that is in the video description. Ensure you have the latest version of Intella Professional installed. At the time of this video's release, this feature is only included with Intella Professional and is not part of the Intella 10, Intella 100, or Intella 250 editions. A cable that supports data transfer. Some cables are charge-only, so they'll power the device, but won't let the computer detect it. They typically exist for security or cost-cutting reasons. If your device isn't showing up, swap to a cable that supports both data and charging. USB drivers from the device manufacturer. When a device is connected to the host machine, the operating system typically installs the required drivers automatically. But in some cases, the manufacturer's USB drivers may need to be installed manually for the device to be recognized properly. Check the device manufacturer's website for USB drivers if the host machine has difficulty recognizing the device. You'll also need the developer options and USB debugging enabled. We'll cover how to do this shortly. With this in mind, let's get started. To extract the data from the device, open an existing case, or create a new one and open it. Note that you'll need to use version 3.1 or later of Intella Professional in either situation. Once opened, there are two ways available to extract the data from the device. First, you can go to the Welcome tab located at the top of the screen, then click the Extract Mobile Device button at the bottom. Alternatively, go to the Sources tab and click the Extract Mobile Device button at the bottom of the screen. The Extract Device wizard will appear, walking you through each step. The first window contains logical extraction information. Please read it carefully as it contains important information about the supported platforms, scope of the extraction, device requirements, data integrity, and disclaimers. Then click Next. Select your device type and click Next. As of Intella version 3.1, both iOS and Android operating systems are supported. At the device selection screen, you'll see a list of steps to ensure device connectivity. There are 6 steps for Android. Review each step carefully to ensure a successful validation of your device. First, a bit of preparation is needed before connecting the device to the Intella machine. First, install the Android software drivers for the device if they haven't been installed already. In many cases, these drivers will be installed automatically when connecting the device to your machine, so it is possible to skip this option. But if you find that Intella is not recognizing the device, then install the drivers from the manufacturer's website. Generally, you can run a Google search for the device brand plus phrases like device drivers or USB device drivers to find the appropriate page on the manufacturer's website. For example, searching for Samsung device drivers will typically bring up Samsung's official website as the first result. From there, you can download the driver files and install them by following the instructions in the installation wizard. Step 2 is to unlock the device if it isn't already. After that, in Step 3, you'll need to enable USB debugging, which also requires developer options to be enabled. On Android 4.1 and lower, developer options is available by default. On Android 4.2 and higher, it must be manually enabled. The location can vary depending on the device you have, but on many Android devices, you can typically do this by navigating to Settings, scrolling down, and tapping About or About Phone. In this section, look for the build number. If it's not there, look in surrounding options like Device Identifiers. Tap the build number 7 times. You may be prompted to enter the device PIN. Enter it to enable the developer options. Once done, you should see the message, "You are now a developer," which enables developer options on your device. Now that developer options are enabled, USB debugging needs to be enabled. The location of USB debugging varies as well, but you can generally go back to Settings, select System, then select Developer Options, where you should see Developer Options is enabled. You may need to scroll down on this page to locate USB debugging. Enable it and click OK if prompted. You can find full documentation for locating and enabling USB debugging and developer options in the official Android developer documentation from Google, shown on screen and in the video description. In steps 4 and 5, connect the device to a USB port on your computer and click Allow if prompted. When connecting the device, you may receive a prompt to set what kind of transfer mode the cable should be set to. Ensure it is set to file transfer mode, since other modes will prevent collection of the device's data. Afterward, you should see a notification saying that file transfer mode is enabled. Additionally, you may receive a prompt on your Windows machine asking whether you want to trust adb.exe, known as Android Debug Bridge. If so, agree. This program allows the host machine to access the device and extract it properly. The device might automatically appear in the list at this point. If it doesn't, click the Refresh button to refresh the list of devices. Your device or devices will appear in the table below, listing the device name, model, and identifier. If the device doesn't show up in the list, ensure the following: you're using a working data transfer cable, not just a charging cable, and that the cable works properly. The cable is properly plugged into the device and into a working port of the Intella machine. If a port is malfunctioning, you can try a different port. The correct drivers have been installed from the device manufacturer, and that the developer options and USB debugging are enabled. Ensure you've addressed all prompts within Windows to trust the device, and that there are no prompts on the device to trust the connected Windows machine. Also ensure that the device is visible in Windows Explorer under This PC. Finally, some devices may have security features that, when enabled, will block potentially unsafe actions, such as installing apps from unknown sources or allowing ADB commands. These blockers may interfere with the collection process. So if you find the device cannot be discovered or acquired, try disabling these security apps in the device's settings. For example, Samsung Auto Blocker is a security feature on Samsung devices that does just that. To disable it, you can navigate from Settings to Security and Privacy to Auto Blocker, then toggle Auto Blocker off. Then click the Refresh button to refresh the list of available devices. Select the device to acquire and click Next. The next window displays device artifacts. This list allows you to extract all or a portion of artifacts from the device, including device information, phone calls, SMS messages, and so on. It's populated differently depending on what kind of device is being acquired. By default, every artifact will be extracted, but this is fully customizable. You can uncheck any artifacts that you don't want to acquire and use the Select All checkbox to quickly check and uncheck all options. Click Next to continue. If WhatsApp is installed on the device, you will have the option to extract its messages by completing a few additional steps. The next screen provides step-by-step instructions for this process. Follow the on-screen prompts to create and capture a WhatsApp backup. In Step 1, you can click the Launch WhatsApp button in Intella to automatically launch the program on the device. In Step 2, you'll generate an encryption key. In WhatsApp, open the three-dot menu at the top right, click Settings, Chats, Chat Backup, and End-to-End Encrypted Backup. Now tap More Options, then 64-digit encryption key. Generate the key and make sure you save or record a copy, since WhatsApp does not retain one. Now that you have the key, you can enter it in 2 ways. You can capture it automatically by clicking the Capture Encryption Key button, then verify its accuracy. Alternatively, you can enter the key by hand. In either case, once you've recorded the key and entered it into Intella, return to WhatsApp. Create the backup by tapping Continue. I saved my 64-digit key, then Create. Once the backup finishes, click Validate Backup in Step 4 of the Intella wizard to have Intella validate the backup and the key. Click Next. In the Acquisition Detail screen, you can edit the acquisition information, including the name, description, examiner, case number, and evidence number. This can help with evidence identification and case organization. Click Next. You'll need to choose a destination folder to save the Intella Device Acquisition Image File, or IDA file. Keep in mind that this folder is only where the extracted device data will be stored and is unrelated to the case data. Once your location folder has been selected, click the Start Extraction button to start acquiring the device data. The device data acquisition process may take some time, depending on the size of the device's storage and how much data is stored on the device. At the top, you'll see the acquisition information for your reference, and lower down you can monitor the operation in real time as it progresses. If the acquisition completes successfully, a Process Finished Successfully message will appear. At that point, you can click Finish, and the acquisition process will be finished. The next step is to add the newly acquired data to the case. In the Sources tab, click the Add New button at the bottom of the screen. Select the Intella Device Acquisition Experimental option and click Next. Paste or browse to the folder where you saved the acquisition image in the previous step and select the IDA file. Once the file has been selected, the validation process will automatically take place. When validation completes, you should see a Successfully Validated the Device Image message. An unsuccessful validation may mean that the image has been changed or altered. Below, you'll see basic information about the device and acquisition, including the device type, device model, acquisition date, and other relevant details. Continue by clicking Next. The Specify Artifacts page provides two options for indexing. The default option is Index the entire image. The second option, Index Selected Artifacts Only, allows you to manually select which data artifacts you want added to the case. For this example, we'll keep the default setting and click Next. On the source name and time zone page and onward, the default indexing options from Intella will be shown. From here, the typical indexing settings apply like usual. For regular usage on Intella, refer to the user manual and available training courses. We'll select default options on each page. Finally, click Finish to proceed with indexing. During the indexing process, you can observe several stages of processing as the data is ingested. Once indexing is complete, make sure to check the exceptions report and case logs to address any exception items before you start review. Once the device has been fully indexed in Intella, you can begin exploring its contents in detail. You have two primary ways to navigate the data, using the Search tab or the Devices tab. The Search tab allows you to run keyword searches, use Intella Assist to automatically flag, tag, and generate content for items through AI, filter items by file type, and much more. Each facet in the Search tab can be used to review different aspects of the device. Meanwhile, the Devices tab provides a way to look at the data from the perspective of a user navigating a device. It first provides an overview of all indexed devices and their associated data, letting you quickly switch between devices and examine their contents in a structured, organized view. This concludes our video on mobile device acquisition for Android devices. For iOS devices, make sure to check out our video on that, which is linked in the video description. More information on how to use Intella can be found in the user manual and our training courses. Check out the video description for more information. If you have any further questions, please consult the Intella documentation at the link below or contact our support team regarding any technical issues. Thank you for watching.